Hello and a warm welcome. You've joined us on Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. I'm Ashesha Dwaryu. With me is Ankita Saxena. And it is turning out to be a weak day for Indian equity markets. The Nifty is now sitting with a cut of 0.5% as we speak. It is now trading below that 24,200 mark. We have Nifty Banking Index. That one is hovering near that 55,500 mark. And Sensex is also down nearly 500 points in today's trading session. In terms of individual stocks that are on the losing side from the Nifty 50 pack, we have Coal India. That stock is down more than 2% in trade today, one of the top losers from the Nifty 50 index. Other than that, HDFC Bank, Bajaj Finance, Ultratech, Cement, ONGC, Axis Bank, all of them declining more than 1.5% in trade today. On the gaining side, though, we have Apollo Hospitals. That stock is holding on to gains of more than 2.5%. Asian Paint, Tata Consumer Products, Adani Ports, all of them gaining in trade today in an otherwise weak market setup. In terms of sectoral movers, IT continues to gain for the second consecutive trading session. Nifty IT is the biggest sectoral gainer. Something like Coforge is up 6.5% in trade today. Clearly, IT stocks are shining bright in an otherwise weak market setup. Persistent Systems up 3%, LTI Mindtree, HCL Tech, Emphasis, all of them gaining in excess of 1%. On the losing side, though, we have something like energy stocks which are under pressure today. A couple of them, in fact. We have ABB, Gujarat Gas, Hitachi Energy, GSPL, all of them declining in excess of 1.5% in trade today. But this is a show where we discuss individual stocks and why they are buzzing in trade today. On the technical side, we are now joined by Kunal Parar, Vice President, Technical Research and Algo at Choice Equity Broking. Kunal, afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll come to you in just a bit, but before that, let's talk about Global Spirits. The stock is down 10% in trade today on the back of weak set of results that the company reported for the quarter gone by. Revenue has declined by about 3.5% YOY. Margins, meanwhile, have come in at 10% versus 6% same time last year. So margins have expanded on a year-on-year basis. But remember, it is a big miss as compared to estimates across all parameters, and that is the reason the stock is declining in trade today. Capacity expansion, capacity utilization, in fact, has declined in the fourth quarter. Company has said that they will be able to achieve EBITDA per litre at 7, which has come in at just 6.2. So across all parameters, it is a miss, not only as compared to consensus estimates, but also as compared to company's own guidance that they had given at the end of third quarter. And that is the reason the stock is sitting with a cut of more than 10.5% as we speak.
All right, let's move on from Global Spirit to the next counter that is in focus. Kunali picked out NTPC for us. On NTPC, tell us what are the levels that you're tracking?
Well, first of all, good afternoon to both of you. If we talk about NTPC right now, trading at 403 level, up by 0.75%, trading over its 200 days moving average. Not only this, if you talk about early chart, we have seen breakout as well on an early chart. So some good upside momentum will be there in upcoming trading session. Right now, trading at 403, one can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 390. If we talk about target wise, first target comes at 413, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there even up to the level of 430. So 413 and 430, two targets are there for NTPC.
All right, let's move on from NTPC on the charts to the next counter that is in focus, and that is Dabur. That is trading up 3% on the back of its quarter four numbers. Now let's look at the numbers, whether it's the revenue, EBITDA, the margins. Inline set coming in, though the PAT was a beat on what we were penciling in. The stock is up in a way almost 4% in trade. Let's take a look at the numbers then. We see PAT that was up 15% at 369 crores versus what we were penciling in was 353 crores. So there was a beat coming in on the PAT front. Revenue saw an uptick of 7.3% at 3,038 crores. In line, EBITDA also was in line with an uptick of 8.2% at 462 crores, and the margins saw an uptick of 12 basis points as 15.2%. But the key highlights was that the India volumes were up 6%, and that's also a beat coming in. The Indian FMCG sector, the growth was at 9.5%. The international INR growth was at 2.5%. Even that was better than what we is being penciled in. Nuvama has given a buy call and they've raised the target price to 620 rupees. We also have Goldman Sachs that is maintaining a neutral, and they've also hiked the target price to 515. And in the back of strong set coming in and target price hikes. Dabur is up and away 4%.
Okay, so that's Dabur for you. But meanwhile, let's also talk about MGL, Mahanagar Gas. That counter has reported its numbers for the quarter gone by, and it's a weak set. The stock is sitting with a cut of more than 1% as we speak. Revenues did see an uptick of 4.5%, but margins have come in at 12.7% versus 20% that the company reported the same time last year. So clearly, a severe margin contraction is what the company has reported. Now, as far as gas volumes are concerned, they've come in at 4.67 MMS CMD, which is an increase of a marginal 1% on a sequential basis. But remember, the net realization declined in the fourth quarter, and that weighed heavy on the stock, which is why the stock is sitting with a cut of more than 1%. Gas cost increased in the quarter gone by, and gross margins and EBITDA per SCM, that too compressed by about 38% on a year-on-year basis. So the internals clearly look weak, although volumes have risen. EBITDA per ton and EBITDA per SCM has declined, and that is the reason the stock is down and about in trade today.
All right, let's move on then. Bharat Forge is what you picked out for us, Kunal. Tell us from the charts, what do you see? This counter has done very well. In fact, that has outperformed the market in the last 1 year. 6 months also, 50% return is what Bharat Forge has given. Do you see this upside to continue then?
Yes, definitely we may see further upside momentum, and it may continue further towards the northward direction. The way stock has been trading on its daily chart at 1992. Further upside would be there. Stock has already given a breakout of its previous top, which was placed at 1935. Not only this, stock is trading above its 200 days moving average as well, so it clearly indicates for and further upside momentum. Right now, one can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 1930. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 2062, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there even up to the level of 2160. So overall, technical structure gives some kind of confidence for this counter.
Right, so that's Bharat Forge on the charts. Let's move on to Thermax, that is in focus. Thermax was up 4% on the back of its a beat coming in on all accounts. As far as the results are concerned, it's up 11% right now. In fact, Thermax has reported an 18.7% year-on-year rise in consolidated net profit for the fourth quarter at 244 crore rupees. The company has also posted a net profit of 206 crores in the corresponding quarter last year. The revenue for the quarter rose 12.5% on a year-on-year basis to 3,428 crores from 3,000 crores, surpassing the estimates. The EBITDA also increased to 24.9% on a year-on-year basis to 374 crores from an earlier 299 crores, while the margins improved to 10.9% from an earlier 9.8% on a year-on-year basis. Now, both the parameters, whether it's EBITDA margins, were also ahead of the estimates, and the order book during the quarter rose 112% on a year-on-year basis to 4,490 crores from an earlier 2,119 crore rupees. On the back of very strong set coming in for Thermax, that stock is up and away 11%.
Okay, so that's Thermax for you. The stock is up 11% in trade, but Dabur reported strong Q4 with healthy profits and revenue. CFO Ankush Jain is confident of overall growth despite West Asia war. Let's go across and listen into what he had to say.
We have guided for almost a high single-digit to low double-digit growth, and we are targeting that internally as well, despite the headwinds in West Asia. And this will be backed by both volume and value. And why we are optimistic on this is that a lot of efforts have gone in terms of product portfolio, distribution expansion, reach, our capability building, digitization, and those have started yielding results going forward. And we are therefore hopeful and optimistic that this momentum should continue. We need to, protect our gross margins at a category level, and therefore we would be taking calibrated price increases. So there will be a cumulative 6% price increase, and further, value re-engineering initiatives should compensate for the balance inflation, thereby giving us a space to protect our margins and redeploy some of it back into demand generation. So we are optimistic that the pricing which will be there may not lead to a significant downside risk on the volume. In aggregate, however, it will only benefit us in terms of overall value growth.
Right, so that's the word coming in from the management of Dabur. We also have Vedant Fashions, which has just reported its numbers. The stock has seen a spike up of 2%. On the back of that, EBITDA has seen an increase of 8% YOY. Meanwhile, let's also talk about Pace Digitech. The company has won some big orders, and that is the reason the stock is seeing a sharp uptick in today's trading session. We have the company which has said that they've won orders worth about 720 crore rupees from Damodar Valley Corporation, or DVC. This is for a battery storage system project in Jharkhand, covering supply, EPC and 12-year O&M services. So on the back of the 700 odd crore order, the stock in fact at one point in time was up 4%. It has given up all of those morning gains and now sitting with gains of just about 2.5% as we speak.
All right, that's Pace Digitech with gains of 2.3%. But coming to you, Kunal, you've picked out Asian Paints for us. Tell us on the charts, how does Asian Paints look to you? Do you see a re-rating coming on this stock? It's trading up 2.5% right now. In fact, in the last 1 month, it has picked up some pace. Do you see that to continue?
Well, right now stock is trading at 2597, trading over its 100 and 200 days moving average. Not only this, it is trying to sustain over its previous top, which is placed at 2585 level. So overall structure looks very attractive at present level. Not only this, it is trying to give a breakout of its neckline of cup and handle formation as well. So all the chart formation looks very attractive at present level. And if you talk about weekly chart as well, it clearly indicates for a further upside momentum this counter. Even it is getting some helping hand from the crude oil as well. So overall, stock looks very attractive at present level. One can get into the stock at present level. Right now, the stock is trading at 2600. If we talk about the support side, downside support, strong support comes at 2500, which is nothing like a 200 BMA itself. So overall momentum target wise is set, and first target comes at 2670, and if stock break these levels, the further upside would be there even up to the level of 2800. So this is a stock which looks very attractive not only for trading perspective but also for portfolio creation as well.
All right, let's move on then to the next counter that is in focus, and that is BSE. That is in focus on the back of its Q4 results. A strong set coming in for BSE as well. That stock is up in a way. It has given up those morning gains. That was up almost 3% in the morning session. It has succumbed to selling pressure, is down 1% right now. But overall positive numbers, strong numbers coming in for BSE. Let's take a look at what the numbers really look like. Well, we see the PAT that is seeing an uptick of 61% on a year-on-year basis at 795 crores. We do see revenue that is up, 84% on a year-on-year basis. The EBITDA is also seeing an uptick of 119% on a year-on-year basis, and EBITDA margins that is seeing an uptick of almost 1100 basis points at 68% for Q4 for BSE. So on the back of strong set coming in, positive numbers coming in, BSE is in focus today, though it has succumbed to the selling pressure since morning, is now down 1%.
Okay, so that's BSE for you, but let's also talk about Apollo Microsystems, the stock that is in focus on the back of some order wins. The stock in fact has shot up as much as 6% at one point in time, but it has cooled off from those levels, now up 3%. The company said that they've received 3 orders worth about 510 odd crores. They've not shared any further details on what the timeline of execution could look like and when this order win could actually fructify into their financials. But for now, 510 crore and 3 order wins is why the stock is up 3% in trade today.
All right, let's move on to PNB Housing. PNB Housing, Kunal, you've picked up PNB Housing for us. Tell us on the charts, what are you penciling in for this counter?
Well, stock is up by 3 to 14%, backed by upgrading by credit rating. The way stock has been trading on its daily chart, we have been witnessing some kind of flat formation breakout on the daily chart. If you talk about moving average wise, stock has been trading over its 100 plus 200 days moving average. Not only this, its previous top, which was placed at 1040, stock is trying to sustain above this level. So overall technical structure looks very aggressive at present level, and the way stock is giving its a breakout of flat formation, I think further sharp momentum will be there towards an outward direction. One can get into the stock at present level. If we talk about SL wise, one can keep SL at 1030. And if you talk about target wise, first target would be at 1160, and if stock breaks these levels, then further upside would be there even up to the level of 1200. So PNB Housing Finance looks very attractive, very aggressive, very confident on daily chart.
Let's move on now. Then on the charts to Sonata Software, that is trading up 5%. The company has reported its quarter. All right, that was the management of Pidilite weighing in on the numbers. But Kunal, you have picked out Paytm for us. Tell us on the charts, what do you see for Paytm? What are the levels that you're tracking?
Well, if you talk about ATM right now trading at the 1200 level, the stock has been trading over 200 days moving average. Not only this, the technical structure looks very aggressive, and stock is trying to sustain above its previous top, which was placed at 1181. So overall, structure looks very aggressive at present level. If you talk about momentum indicator, then RSI is trending above its 50 mark as well. So momentum looks very attractive at present level based on this all the technical structures. If you talk about hourly chart, then even it is telling the same stories for an upside momentum. Stock is trading at 1200 level. One can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss somewhere around 1140. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 1245, and at this level, if stock break this level then further, sharp momentum would be there even up to the level of 1380. So Paytm looks very aggressive, very attractive in terms of risk reward and for trading perspective as well.
Right, so that's the view coming in on Paytm technical setup. But thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and discussing several stocks that are in focus today. But shifting focus then